And here we go.
Yes, sir.
So what is going on, y'all? My name is Jay Faith, and this is the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast, where we sit down, make connections through conversations, help others improve in their lives, whatever that they're doing. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to say God bless to everybody for tuning in, supporting. Appreciate all of y'all. This is a MOCG media production right here at 41st Studios in Drake, Mass. Want to shout out them for having us here, allowing us this beautiful space, allowing us to just share this podcast here. I want to shout out my co-host, L.Y.F.E. We got L.Y.F E in the building.
What's up, everybody? Good to see y'all again.
Yeah. So let's kick this thing off, man. We got episode 41. I want to introduce our guest for the evening. It goes by Splytt. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? Episode 41. Congratulations, man. We know more blessings and all that, man.
We in the building.
Yo.
Yes. That's what it's about, man.
It's been a minute, man, since we got to talk. I know we talked.
It has. And you know what's ironic? That night we had a very good conversation. That night also. That's how I knew it came back full circle. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be too easy. I was like, let's go.
For sure. I mean, that's what we first linked up to get you on here, and I'm glad that we're able to, finally, just in life be able to kind of bring it back and find that
Definitely.
time. We're both, all three of us are very busy individuals doing our own thing.
Yeah.
That's challenging. So it's always great to be able to find that time and to be able to sit down.
I still got your merch too. I'm still rocking the t-shirt. Don't forget.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah.
That's love right there. That's love right there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So what's been going on with the show? I know I've seen a lot of different things, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, man. Like you've been having some pretty dope experiences happening,
man. I don't even know where to begin, man. It's all coming like quickly. Like there's be times where I feel like I'm not working hard enough, or like I don't feel like.
Oh man, 1,000%.
You know exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the same way all the time.
Yes, I'm like, am I doing this? Am I doing that? Like, am I being lazy? But then I'll get moments like that recharge me and be like, listen, man, like you're choosing the right things to do. Just keep pushing forward. So I was high off that Jadakiss interaction for a good week. That's like one of the main reasons I do this. Like, I wasn't even like I was nervous. I was nervous when I was about to perform in front of him. But once I hit that stage, you know how it is as artists. Like you just get into that mode. So like it was mind blowing because that's literally like he's in my top 5. Like I get inspired. Him and Fab, really like it was just a crazy experience, man.
That's dope, man. How did that come about? Because I mean, that's like kind of to me, it's almost like one of those like 1 in a million opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. It was like, because
for him to hear it, but like to have him actually sitting like directly in front of you and just be
come
like,
on. And he was exhausted.
Right.
Yeah, you feel me? He was exhausted. He was like, I felt bad because I'm like, this man, I follow him on IG and everything. So I'm seeing what he's doing throughout the days with his kids. He's doing his fundraiser. He's over here. Then he's like, yeah, I got this show in Connecticut, I'm gonna be there, pull up, blah blah blah. So I'm like, I'm amped up because I'm like, I just seen you do all this today, and you still here. So I got to see his grind. But shout out to Gorilla Smooth. You guys familiar with Gorilla Smooth?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, out of Mass, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother, man. He actually put me on to that opportunity. He tagged me in something about that, and I looked into it, and it just so happened to work out. So I said, bro, not only do I owe you one, I need a hug because this is my guy. I was like, you don't understand. So Gorilla actually, he linked me to the post on IG. I tapped in with the promoters, and everything pretty much flowed from there. They told me, stipulations, don't rap over your vocals, all that good because it's Jada. Come with the right set. Obviously you had to pay because this is Jada's time. Right. So everything kind of flowed in a way where it was meant to be because the ride was there. I had no work. I got to stay overnight because I drive, long distances. So everything kind of flowed. So I said, listen, when I go here, I don't care win or lose. I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? So it was a
Right.
contest. First place gets 1,000. Second place gets what was it? think like studio time and like a music video, and third place gets like merch, and you know how they give you like the doggy bag with like the like a
Yeah.
poster of the event, things
Yeah.
like that. So Exit Fame won that night.
Okay.
Shout out to Exit Fame. He won that night, and I was like, listen, I watched your grind. You deserved it. There's no, animosity, no nothing. I'm just glad that I met this man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what
100%.
I'm saying? Like I was like, this is all I wanted. Like all my life was to meet this man. So like it was a dope night, man. I'm telling you, for that week, I was so high off that you couldn't tell me nothing. He told me my song was dope. I was like, you say I'm whack. Jada told me I'm nice. I want to, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
One of the dopest lyricists like on living on the planet right now. Like
yes.
like that's such a high, man.
And it was
I'm
fresh off the verses. It was like fresh off that verses he had. So that's why I was like, I need to see him. Like he killed the verse. Like they finally gave him his roses, you know. So it was like a really like honor to be able to like not only rap in front of him, but just for him to even acknowledge my presence. You know what I'm saying? Because I look up to him as just like the God MC. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a dope experience, man. But shout out to Gorilla Smooth because he put that together for me.
Definitely. I think it's cool too, like you said, him coming off that verses, like to me, it's almost like you just came off that high of celebrating music, right? You
Yes,
dove back into your catalog, you've heard the other catalog, and you're just celebrating music, and then like it has to like put you in such a good feeling. And then when you go to these opportunities, it's like you're not going in there with like this stank face or this like crappy attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like ready
yes,
just hear and embrace music in the right and positive way that like it's just
exactly.
so well. And then obviously like I've seen you perform and always bringing the stage presence and everything, so it's like what else is there to do, like like you said, the cards were kind of just fell right into your
Lined up.
hand. That
Absolutely.
that's just, I mean, that's just, and you can't play it out and you can't make it up, you know what I'm saying,
You can't. It literally was just such a nice flow. And my thing, only thing I didn't like about the event, but it's my fault because I know it's like come first. What do you call it? First come, first serve.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was like kind of last to meet this man. So like I said, he was tired by the time he seen me, and he turned up when I got on stage. So, but when we were waiting, they wasn't playing Jada really like because it was like a club vibe upstairs. You had drinks, you had food, things like that. But like it wasn't playing Jada enough for me. I'm like, this is a Jada event. It wasn't really playing no Locks records. They were playing, the what's hot now, which is cool. But I was like, I'm trying to get pumped up. This man just fresh off
Right.
the verses. Like, what's
It's in
going
the
on?
house.
So
Come on now, you
it
gotta
was
play
it was wild, bro. I heard maybe like two or three of his songs, and the rest was just everything else. I was like,
it.
this is a
With
Jada
something
event.
and like with something like that, you don't know like if or when that's gonna happen again. You know what I mean? And like you don't know what to expect, and then like to see that like everything like went extremely well.
Yes,
Boom. You know what I
yes.
mean? Like you've won right
And that
there.
was my thing. Well, you know how life is. Like tomorrow's not promised. So you see these rappers dying like back to back all the time. So I'm like, they told me that was his last one of that year. So I'm like, I need to do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't even
Mhm.
know if I'm gonna see this man next year. Or, who knows what's gonna happen. So
Right.
I
They're
said,
always
listen, I would have went to negatives, man. I would have been, I would have been like, listen, I need to do this event because when is this gonna happen again? But apparently he does do it occasionally, like their private events, exclusive. So if you catch like a flyer or something, you can talk to the promoter, and then they'll kind of feed you information so you don't say too much to your friends until it's like official.
Right.
But yeah, man. Listen, if he does it again, Jay, yo, I'm telling you, I'm telling you,
yeah.
do it, man. It's
Hell yeah.
mind blowing.
Dude, I think that's really dope too, that kind of the major artist is doing something like that. Like
Mm,
that's one of the first few times that I've seen something like that where the artist is like, I mean, obviously they're getting paid for their time and stuff, but still,
yeah.
like they're taking their time to invest in kind of looking at some local people, some not so well known people, and being
And you
like,
never know what could happen.
want
Yeah.
to I want to hear from you. Like that's super, especially in like no not a distant anywhere, but like Rhode Island, and it was in Rhode Island, right? Like Rhode
It was in
Island of all.
Connecticut. It
Oh,
was in
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
But like
Yes. again, but look, see,
You know
I
what I mean?
moved here, and that show came, and it was only 45 minutes away, maybe or so.
Mm,
If I was still in Providence, it would have
nah,
took me longer to get there. So I'm like, yo, shit, really just lined
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
come on now, yeah,
Yo,
yeah. You can't make that up. You can't,
you really can't.
make that
You
up.
really can't, man.
But
But yeah, it was a dope. It was definitely a dope experience. And to piggyback off that, since we're talking about showcases, I'm opening up for Chic Luch in February of next year,
mm, come on
and
now.
that's a charity event. So if all
That's
I need is Styles P, all I need is Styles P, and I'll be a happy camper. I wouldn't need anything else in life.
that's all you need, man. It's just falling, and that's
So
dope.
things,
That's a good
you
way to start
know,
three too.
but see, but back to what we were saying earlier, I always felt like I wasn't working hard enough. I'm like, I can promote this, I can put this out, but do people care? Like, is
Yeah,
it so when I get certain little, do I get when I get little validations here and there? It just, how it's just that fuel to the fire. So
Mhm.
it's been mind blowing, man. It has.
yeah. That's like it's like what happened to me. I mean, we've shared this before. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I was feeling the same exact way, and then I ended up winning the Anna Domini song contest, and I was like, "Yo, okay, like, something is working here."
Yes,
It's like,
yes.
okay. And then just the rewards that I got from that, it was
Mm,
it was it was eye opening, and for me, it was like, okay, like you need to keep doing this. Like what I got was like fuel to keep going. So I was like, okay,
yes.
it's time to keep
And you
going. So
need that. You need that, especially as a creative mind. You really need that push sometimes because it's like we put so many countless hours into our material, our craft, but it's just like when we feel like we have nothing left, it is like, is anyone out? Then you get a lifeline, and you're just like, oh man, thank you. Now I'm gonna
Mhm.
continue doing what I've been doing.
Absolutely. There always comes that time where, where we like have like these reminders,
Yes.
it comes up out of nowhere.
Mm,
So,
but
we need that to keep going, like you said.
but that's
we
what
really
that's
do, man. So I
yeah.
mean that show is probably the most recent thing that I have coming up as far as the new year, and then I'm really just trying to capitalize on things that you know how they say out of your norm.
Hmm.
So like I've done a ton, as I'm sure you both of you have done a ton of like these shows where like, okay, I know this is what I need to do in the beginning because I need to work on my craft, I need to work on my stage presence, you know what I'm saying? So all that makes sense. But now I'm trying to capitalize and say, okay, if I can get in the arena with like 5,000 people that just so happen that could work, even if I gotta struggle to get there, I need to see what that reaction will be in a bigger, venue.
Right, for
So
sure.
it's that's really what I'm trying to chase right now is just opportunities that make the most sense that also flow naturally. If I feel like I have to force it, I'll pass up until another one comes.
Right. Yeah.
But if it's flowing, I'm like, okay, then this is for me. But I'm not gonna break my back to do something and then, it just has to make sense. You know.
Exactly. That's where we're at right now for sure.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've reached a point in our careers. Mine's approaching 10, which I mean some would consider that still early and young, but I
Mm,
think I think the education piece that we've both, I'm sure you have as well, but just speaking for ourselves, me and Life, the education piece that we put into this and just learning the actual craft and trade of what music is, like
mm,
we understand what our value is and where that
that's
needs to
it.
be placed, and and again, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on like super smaller shows or anything like that, but
Yeah, absolutely.
we've reached a place where it's like we know who we are, we know who we can deliver, and we want to seek those kind of higher opportunities, those bigger venues, those things like that, because we do have that caliber. And again, that's not to toot our own horn. That's
Hmm.
just
Mm.
It's
it
that
comes with time.
It is what it is. Yeah, 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 yeah.
It is, and
it's
Because
that new.
when you know, you know. When you know, you know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got people who feel how we do, but you see them and then really not. You could see that they want that just for the exposure and stuff, but we're looking at it as we want it because we deserve it. Some people just want it for the look, you know. But look, we've been like we just said, we've been in the venues, we've done the groundwork, we've 2 people, 5 people, 20 people. We got the energy, we got the music, so it's like we deserve. Like it's just there's no other option, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
so
I think, I mean, him and I alone combined, I mean, we probably have a catalog of over 50 plus songs.
that's what I'm
So,
talking about.
you
See?
know, it's like, again, not to sound like a hater, but, we're at that point, a 10-minute set, a 15-minute set, we can rock 45-minute sets. We can
Come
have
on.
and give people a show, because we
Mm,
have the catalog to back it up. It isn't just to, say, oh, we can do it, but we have the catalog to back it up. We have
absolutely.
content that's available for that. So again, we know our value, we understand that, and we're trying to reach to those higher places, and really
Yeah, man. I definitely hear you 100% for sure.
I definitely agree with you. It has to flow right. Everything that I've been doing lately, if it's been forced or if I get like a show offer and it just doesn't fall on the right day, sorry, man, I just can't do it. Thank you for the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. I appreciate you for reaching out.
Absolutely.
It's just not the opportunity for me, whether it's time or just I don't feel like it's the right opportunity for me. You just
You
get that
has to feel, yeah.
feeling. Again, I appreciate it, but for both of us, I'm gonna have to pass on this one.
It'll probably be better if you pass. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep.
And
That's what
that's
it comes down to.
and that's important. I think people have to be able to know how to say no sometimes.
Mm.
As an artist, not even the accepting of the no,
Mm-hmm.
actually saying it and being like, nah, man, I'm sorry. Like, not every opportunity is an opportunity that you need to take. Sometimes
True.
it's just, you have to learn how to decipher which ones are the good ones and which ones are going to be, just
More of a
maybe not a waste of your time, but
yeah, yeah,
usually
yeah, I got you.
much better.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you know,
Gotta make sure it's not like more so for them as opposed to like
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Like
There's
what's
this
the big
promoters
picture?
out there
What's the
doing it.
big
Yeah,
picture of it? Yeah, it has to have a big
people
picture
just want the
because
payout.
when you start jumping at everything, you're like, oh, I'm doing a ton of these. It's like, yeah, but like, are you good afterwards? Like, are you stressed out? Like, can you make it to A and B? You got to call for a ride. You got to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you can really set up a nice flow, you can't go wrong, man. You really can't.
Yeah,
That's why I see it in you guys too. I mean, look how far you came with the pot. Like you guys are a unit. You know what I'm saying? You guys are working towards something. So I mean, that's just what it's about, man.
yeah,
Seriously.
absolutely.
yeah, it's been a process, but we just recognize where we're at. Sometimes those little shows, it's not of value to us
Mm.
any. I don't know. It sounds weird. It sounds like such a
It
It's
sounds
not.
weird. Yeah,
you know.
And
yeah,
it's no hate. It's no hate. It really isn't. It's just what it is. I definitely.
But at the
That's
same time,
exactly
like,
what it is.
I know I am. I'm super grateful for those opportunities because it got me in front
Yes.
of people. It got me in front of people. It got me to where I am today. So I
Mm-hmm.
owe it to those smaller shows to be able to get
Yes.
where I'm at now. So
but we
Yes.
can't stay
Yes.
local forever. You know what I mean? Like we
yeah,
can't like consistently play at the same cities, the same venues,
That's the
in
point.
front of the same people with the same promoters. You know what I mean?
And
Like once.
that's kind of why, or just to piggyback off what you just said, that's kind of why I moved out here to Western Mass because I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I've
So
never
for
really
me.
this side of Mass, I never really done any shows. Let me see
Mhm.
what they have going on. I've done Rhode Island. I probably did every venue there. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's where I was at. Mass always showed me a lot of love since the beginning, like
Oh yeah. There's a
early
crap.
on.
There's a shit ton of talent here too in Mass. Like
Yes, and the
there's so
venues
many.
are amazing. You guys have some really so I was like, okay, I seen that. And it's usually Cambridge, Fall River, Brockton. Like I've done, you know what I'm saying. They've always showed me up. So this side of Mass, I've never even experienced. So I
Mhm.
come out here. It's slow. I'm still figuring out some things. You know what I'm saying. I've seen the venues where they have shows at. Now it's just about who is the promoter, when is these things happening. Who do I meet? So little by little, but yeah, I got away from the distractions. That's why I moved. I had to get away from the distractions and start anew. I'm still only an hour and a half away. I can see people that you know what I'm saying. So it's
Yeah.
like, but if you need me, I'm over here trying to build, and then keep going to the next level. So
Right.
yeah,
because
absolutely.
I've created the mindset for myself that you have to, at least to me, this it could be different for everybody, and this is something like I wanted to share to like even other artists too that I see just literally just bouncing from show to show, and it's like you almost have to treat it like a tour where
Absolutely.
you are like you're performing, and then if you're gonna do back to back shows, like you got to do it in very remote places. Like remote's the wrong word.
I
Like
got
like
you. I see what
you're in Vermont, then you're in New Hampshire, then you're in, you know,
Yep.
Mass, you know, maybe Boston area, then you're in Springfield, like just completely separate places. You have to space the
Yes.
area out of it because it's like, I mean, we've had this conversation a million and one times, but it's just something that, like, you know, just because we're on the subject, it's like, okay, you perform in Boston, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you bring your people out, and then you go and perform. We'll say even in Lowell, just Lowell at the Worthen, whatever. Just
Yep.
shout out.
Yep.
Still, to me, that's like so local, especially if you're bringing your people out and trying to
Mm.
get some new people that they just saw. Like you, I just saw you in Boston. Why am I?
Yes. That
I'm
Right.
gonna
see.
Yeah.
go.
I thought.
I'm gonna go
That's
to Lowell,
exactly it.
see you 3 days later to
Yeah.
honestly probably see the same set. You know, so
I'm
you have to.
so glad you said that because see now this is where we go back to what we were just saying earlier. Early on in the career, when you're learning these things, I've
For sure.
done that.
Oh,
I
100%.
literally had a show in Providence, and then had a
100%.
show in Providence also, but just like down the block. Then had a
Yeah.
show over here that was only like 30 miles away. So and they saw the same set. And I was like, I got frustrated because I was younger then. So I'm like, why do I want to go to my show? Like, why are they, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, well, technically I get it. Like they're supporting me, but like I'm not really, I'm still in this bubble. So I
Mhm.
definitely get what you just said. I've done that. I've
Oh,
done
for
that.
sure. 100%.
Oh yeah. No, we
We've
all do
all,
it.
we've
Yeah.
all been there.
Yeah,
Because
I had a flashback just now.
It's like what I've been talking about with the podcast in general is
Hmm.
I'm trying to get people to the point of like hearing these things. So it's almost like they avoid the if I knew then what I know now
Exactly.
conversation. So it's like
Hmm.
those up and coming artists, like treat it like a tour and space yourself out, even if it's like even like 2 weeks in between shows. Like
Mm.
space it out a little bit further, even 3 weeks. I know that sounds like crazy because you're like, oh, I'm not out, I'm not doing this. But like you can, and I'm really bad at it, I'll admit it. But like do a show, but then
Yep.
just pop up at another show. Like you don't have to
mhm.
perform, but just pop up and network.
Just pop up. I hear
You're
you.
still out, you're still networking because a lot of people are like, oh, I have to go and perform to network. But it's like, yo, if you do a show and then you just
Hmm.
pop up at another show, and I need to practice what I preach, but you, you do a show, then you pop up at another show, and somebody's like, and you're just like, hey, what's up? Like, I'm an artist, like I'm
Mm.
performing, but then like you have another show coming up. You can be like, hey, I have a show in Boston coming up. You know, if you're around, like it'd be dope for you to come out.
Absolutely.
If you
Absolutely.
remember me from last week, I just performed there. Now I got another show in Boston just down the street. They're probably not going to come out because they're like, yo, I just saw you. Why, you know?
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
to gain more people to come out. You know,
Mm.
that's you can kind of build the foundation. Hey, here's my socials. Hey, check out my music. You know, it'd be cool
Hmm.
for you to check it out. You know, so and so is my friend, the promoter, whatever. You know,
Yep.
whatever. You know, and that allows you just to kind of connect with people on a personal level before
True.
you even share the music. Like, get that personal side out of the way, and
Mm.
then it just opens up those doors. So again, just it's those opportunities that you can create for yourself. And again, I'll practice this is what I preach, but
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Definitely. I was. That's what I'm dying to do out here, and that's why I'm like, where are the? But I know it's gonna happen when it's
yeah,
supposed to. But
Mhm.
like with me, like as soon as I did move, I said, okay, what's going on? Like, where's the action? You know what I'm saying? Where's the action? So I'm like,
yeah,
let me relax first. Let me ease it. I know it's gonna come when it's supposed to. We're going into the holiday season. Let that do its thing, and then afterwards, New Year's, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? So I
good
went
idea.
from rushing it. I went from trying to rush it to just relaxing and just saying it's gonna come because I want it bad enough. Someone's gonna be like, "Hey, I got shows all the time. Come," you know what I'm saying? You know how you just run into people. You never know. So
It
definitely the
happens.
mindset. Yeah.
It'll it'll fall into place. I mean,
Mm.
it already has been, and you know, as long as you just keep it fluid and just be open to opportunities, but like you said, don't rush into it. It'll
Yeah,
happen. So yeah, I mean, that's just advice that I would give to a lot of people. Definitely try to treat it like a tour if you're going to do
for
that. Just
sure.
either space out the distance if you're going to do back to back, or
Mm,
space out the timing, and just pop up at shows. You're still showing out. You're still showing love. You're still networking. Yeah, you're not performing, but you're still showing up, and people are going
you're
to like.
still, yeah, presence.
It makes a
Yeah,
huge
absolutely.
difference too, because like I was doing that like this past summer, like for maybe like for like a few months, and like
Okay.
uh, it makes a huge difference because like even though like those people aren't like always gonna be like at a show, like they'll
Hmm.
be on your social media, they still see what you're doing and all that stuff, no matter what. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And that's what I think is dope because you meet really cool people at shows that really like rock with your music, and you're like, all right, yeah, you guys exchange, and then you do see them still like, oh man, I've been waiting for you to come. Like you still like that love right there is like again, like we were saying before, fuel. Like, oh, you're
yeah,
still like, I remember you from this show. Yeah, you got the merch, right? Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah.
Your husband was with you. Like you get those personal conversations.
And then all of a sudden, yo, when's the next album coming? I
Yes.
heard this one too. Now
Yes.
when's the next one? When's the next thing dropping?
Yes.
I want
They're
to know when
on
it is.
it. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a good feeling.
Yeah,
Because you got to think about it. Like if I pop up to one of life shows or whatever, right? I'm not performing. I just show up and start talking to people, whatever, and then I pop up at another show. Him and I are both there, but we're kind of checking somebody else out. But those same people are there, and then they just like consistently see your face because they're just in that circle of people or whatever.
Mm.
But they're not your followers. They don't follow you. They don't check out your
Yep.
music, whatever. And then you know those people start sharing, like we get a show, whatever, and then those people start sharing that flyer, and they go, "Wait a minute, I know that face. I remember him
Yeah,
because
that's a good point. That's a good
yeah,
point. Yep.
yes.
show," and they were showing up. They weren't performing, but you know what? They said what's up. They chatted. They were cool people. Like
Mm.
take that take that chance and kind of show up and just see what happens.
Hmm.
That's a good point.
Showing up for the people. Let me try to show up for maybe try to show up for them. Just little things.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Show love to get love, right?
It's
Yep.
true. It goes a long way, honestly.
It does. It does.
That's
It
one of the
does.
biggest things, man. I found that's the biggest networking tool that I found is
Hmm.
just like stuff like this, like and stuff that we did at the end of that show, the first KMG show, is just having those conversations, just chopping it up with people, and
Mm.
then it's extended this far. That was what last
When
year.
yeah, I know, right? Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, the very
It
beginning.
was cold. It was cold then. I think.
Yeah, it had to be. I think it was before we dropped 41st Ave. It was
That was
about a
before.
year ago. So yeah, I think so.
And look how far the
It was a year
grind the
ago.
grind
Yep.
that's the grind show. Look how far the grind was till now. It's just like wow.
But it's like you implant those conversations into people,
Yeah.
and look how far it extended. We had kind of chatted here and there, and then just life gets busy and stuff, and then
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I threw out the feeler, was like, hey man, just rocking the pod. I know you said you were interested in doing it. And you're like, yo, what's up? Perfect time. Let's go. Let's rock. I remember you. Let's do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Because
was
it was
us.
organic. It was organic then. That's why I was like,
Right.
let's do it
Like that, as long as
for
you have
sure.
those good conversations and are genuine and just your real self, people will retain that so that when they see you again, they're just like, oh,
Mm.
this dude, or this girl's
Yeah,
cool.
like all right, yeah, all right. I remember that. Yep, yeah, that's true. No, it's true. And to talk about what we were saying before about the traveling, I actually went to again, just me being nosy on Instagram. I found someone who happened. Actually, no, this is how Hillary from Mass.
Mm-hmm.
Dope, 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 dope. I can't even say that enough times.
She
She
was
had
at this.
performed.
Yeah.
She's fine. She had performed in Atlanta, Georgia, and I happened to see a flyer that she posted. So, me being me, I said, "Oh, that's dope. I would love to perform in Atlanta, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Tapped into the promoter. She ended up being this cool, laid back lady who's just trying to help people get their names out. Like she find talent. Oh yeah, come if you can make it. I have a spot for you. 15, 10 minute show, whatever whatever the set is. And ever since that day, she has put me on. If she has something, it could be in Philly or something. she'll come back to me and be like, hey, we got a show this way. If you can make it, you got a 10-minute set or whatever, boom, just off love,
Wow. Yeah.
That's dope.
So she had one in California last year,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh my God, I never performed in Cali. Like, what is this? Like, wait a second. You know what I'm saying? Do I gotta work? Is anybody in the hospital? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who do I need to see? Who do I need to see before I make
I'm
this
like,
decision?
yeah, fuck it. I'll perform in Alaska this weekend. Let me pack up my things and fucking dip.
Right.
I'm out of here.
Right?
See you in
Let me
Juneau.
make sure. I was like, could I
Yeah.
get a
Where my
discount on my flight?
parka?
I was literally checking all things off the list. Like, did I
Yeah.
pay my rent? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
she had a show in Cali. I just so happened to catch a flight for like, it was like buck 45 or something like that. Quick 3 day. I went there, did the show and came back. It was real quick. I wanted to sightsee and all that, but I said, you know what? Another time in the future, it's not going anywhere unless a meteor, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going anywhere. So I'm like, let me do this just to see what it's like. And when I say performing in Cali for the first time, you're smelling the air, you're seeing the trees, you got people really just walking around smoking, like it's just a whole vibe. I'm like, I
What's up?
probably can't afford to move out here, but I definitely would like to move out here. It was a vibe, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I only went, performed, and left. So just off that quick high, I was like, I definitely go back. I mean, obviously they get a bad rap for what they get a bad rap for, but where I was at and the love that was like coming as far as the show, I was like, this is definitely a vibe.
Where
And
in
like I
Cali
said,
was it?
anytime she has a show, she like, and sometimes it's kind of like last minute. I'm like, if I knew like a month in advance, because she'll drop these really good opportunities. But again, I don't force it. So I'm like, it would be great for me to come to Alaska or something,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? It's a little, the time's not right, But yeah,
I'm
it
hardly
was
to the
dope.
dry
The
cleanings
time's
right
not
now.
right. I got something in Cali. It's much warmer down here, so
Yeah,
But yeah, that's hella
man.
dope. Which part of California Cali was it?
Oakland.
Oakland. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a bad experience with
It's a big hip
with
hop
the
city.
Airbnb out there though. I needed a place to stay and I wanted to do something that was kind of like in the city.
Yeah.
So the Airbnb was amazing on the app, right? So I get there, it's already sketchy. It's like already, I'm like, this is not even in the picture, right? So I go in, I talk to the guy, I'm like, hey, I'm here. He thought like I canceled it, whatever. We had this big thing. So I said, all right, I already don't like this guy. Let me just go in here and lay down and see what the room looks like, right? So I go in, and the room looks nothing like the picture. It looks like actually somebody just had clapped some cheeks. I kid you not, on the mattress, right? And didn't clean the stains and just left. That's what it looked like. I was so heated. I'm talking about, I don't even know how this man is still selling rooms on this app because like I had to report him. I was like, what is this? Like it doesn't even. He had a dog. He had dogs walking around the place. So immediately after that, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to what I'm familiar with, Holiday Inn or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I need a regular hotel because this experience is not happening.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen. But again, I guess people, people do that. They go there, they want just the experience. But I was like, no, I'm not doing this. You didn't even clean the room first.
Dang.
It was wild.
Oh, that's nasty.
It was
Bro,
wild.
I went to New York one time. This was actually for my wedding anniversary. We just took like a getaway, but I also went to see
Okay.
some music people. And so we get to the room. We're on the bottom floor, and we're just chilling, whatever. We're eating. We're about to go to bed, and then we just hear I'm like, yo, what is? That? And then we wait, and then it's quiet, and you just hear like ruffling, and we're like, dude, what
Okay. Yeah.
is happening right now? But we can't find it. We can't see nothing. And then finally we hear it, and then we just see something dart across the floor. There was like two mice like nibbling into the food that we had just like thrown into the garbage.
Oh no.
What is happening? Like, first
That's exactly it. Right. What is happening?
like, bro, your wedding anniversary. Like, what is
That
happening now?
that's the main part right there. Like what?
Yo, I went right down to the office. I was like, yo, we got a problem. There's like literally apartment right now, like chewing through bags of food that we literally just threw out. Like they were waiting for it. And
As soon as the lights
unfortunately,
went off.
bro, I'm telling you, we kicked the lights on, freaking thing darted off and like disappeared, and then we turned the lights off, and then you hear the ruffling again. I'm like, yo,
Oh no.
Oh my God.
He's programmed. He's ready. He's like waiting for it.
See, I guess those situations do happen for you to appreciate. Because it was something like that where I was just like, you know what? I try to be real fancy. I'm just gonna stick to what I know
Yeah,
and just get
100%.
something that's, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I was like, I'm not. No,
Fortunately,
that was wild.
they put us. Fortunately, they bumped us. They put us on like the third floor, like the top floor. It was like some big
Good.
huge room. Like
Did you get a discount?
yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
Good. All
Yeah,
right, all right. Because then you deserved a lot. They should have just handed you food and like anything you needed. You needed rides or anywhere, you know. Like,
yeah, right? Bro. The room was like twice the size of the one that we had before. The big old room, like big old window you can see outside. I was like, yo, okay, like so this is
like
how
I
we live.
feel better now. I feel
Yeah,
better now. All right.
this
Oh
turned
my god.
out very quickly, but yeah, man, I was like, bro, like, you got mice running around everywhere.
Wedding. That's the key. Like you guys are really trying me right now. It's like, wait a second.
There was no love that weekend, man. It was just like, but yeah, you gotta take those opportunities, man. Cali,
Sure.
I was just out there in July. Well, I went to Anaheim,
Okay.
and I was like, bro, and I tell you, I was like this close to performing out there, like
Really?
this close,
Ah.
and they pulled it, and I was like, I was already going, and they
Mm-hmm.
pulled it a week before I was going out there. I was going out there for something already, and they were gonna
Okay.
have me perform. And literally the week prior, they pulled it, and they were just like, "We can't do it for such and such reason," and blah blah blah. And I got love for them. There was kind of understanding reasons. I was a little
Mm-hmm.
frustrated. I was a little salty while I was out there. I was like, maybe they're like lying to me. Maybe they'll like
Yeah, you
still.
start thinking, yeah, naturally, you're like, you know what? Wait, what happened? Yeah, I got you.
I was like this close. I was like, yo, it was gonna be in front, bro. I
It's
think,
like, excuse me, I'm Jay Faith. Do you not know?
Right? You don't
You're subbing me
cancel
for
out.
a reason. It's not just.
bro. I think I not gassed myself, but I think I hyped myself up too much because honestly, it was gonna be in front of like 2,000 people, 2,000
What?
teams, and I was like,
Yeah.
yo, it's going down in Anaheim, California. This is it, bro. Yo, I'm about to turn the stage up. I got 3 songs.
Yeah.
And then a week before, they were like, "Yo, we can't do it." And I was like,
That was that felt like a dagger, probably. Like, wait, what do you mean?
It was tough,
Yep.
but
What
it
do you
was.
mean?
I definitely, aside from like losing the performance, like some of the reasons that I kind of, I guess you could say, lost the opportunity. It
Mm-hmm.
was definitely like lessons learned of just things like to just be extra cautious about.
Mm-hmm.
So there was definitely like error on my part that I kind of, I guess you could say like I knew was there, but didn't think it was going to be an issue, but it ended up being an
Gotcha.
issue. So, I mean, I'll even share it. So I had a video put together. Long story less long. I had a video put together so that was going to play in the background. I was going to play some of the lyrics for the hook, so that the crowd could kind
Okay.
of play with it and stuff. And it was
Yep.
actually I specifically wrote the song for the conference, so it was literally the conference theme song, like to me. And
Oh man.
I had hired somebody to put the video together. They ended up using stock footage, which I thought would be fine because it's stock footage, is stuff that you can use. But the
Yeah.
company I was doing it for, I don't want to really shout out the company, although shout out to them. I appreciate them and love them.
Got you.
Um, they're just that kind of company where if they put something out like that and somebody's like, "Hey, that's my footage," and they get like ripped for it, just
Mm.
copyright and everything, like that's something that they really like watch out for and make sure they don't put themselves in
Okay.
the position. So,
Yeah.
needless to say, that was kind of one of the reasons why it didn't happen. So I was like, man, like that was something so minute and small that I took for granted as far
Mm-hmm.
as something like that. So, whenever people are working with companies, whoever's listening, whenever you're working with like some of these bigger companies, like pay attention
Mm.
to those smaller details and just make
Mm.
sure they're everything is like stuff that you own. You know, even those small minor details that you think aren't really anything, and you think you can kind of slide by, you think it'd be cool. Like just double check and make sure, and just you know. But it was a good lesson to learn, and you know I still talk with them. I'm actually going back for something else, not to Anaheim, but I'm still working with that company.
Okay.
They're trying to get me on for this year, a little bit bigger. So you know, just building that. It was just building that relationship, going through that little process, and you know,
See,
learning.
so pretty much that situation could bring you to an even bigger situation. So at least
Yeah,
you'd see that's what the growth is. You took time to analyze what it was that could have happened. You came up with the solution, and you're like, okay, so now when it happens again, which it most likely will, it'll probably be on a bigger scale, and you'll kill it.
yeah. Because I saw them in Atlanta at the beginning of this month, and we
Mm-hmm.
sat down, and you know, they were like, "Hey, remember last year?" And blah blah blah, and I was like, "Yeah, I know." And they're like, you know, so you know, and we started just talking like music and overcoming hardships and you know, and they brought up you know what we had talked about, and they were just like, "Yeah, like you know, this is why," and you know, we really like dove into it, and I was like, you know what, that
Mm-hmm.
makes perfect sense. You know, and you know, I'm moving on from that, and you know, I took it as you know, this wasn't the time. As much as I
Absolutely.
hyped
Yep.
it, as much as I was ready, dude, I was like, I was rehearsing, I was jumping up and down, I was doing jumping jacks, push-ups, everything to get my energy right, like
Mm-hmm.
get myself ready.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I just took it as you know, it just wasn't the time, it wasn't the opportunity that for that moment. You know, it was a
Absolutely.
hard pill to swallow for sure, but I realized that it wasn't the moment for that. And
Mm.
I pray to God that this new moment that's coming is the one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's that growth, man. I definitely respect it. Cause it'd be moments like that. It'd be like you had it, it was like right there in your hands, and you're just like, okay, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem? So I definitely commend you for that.
And it goes back to what we talked about at kind of at the top of this is you grind and you push so far, so far, so hard, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not seeing anything. And that's like where you're kind of being tested as far as like what your resiliency is in this, especially in this industry, let alone in any industry. I think you could apply
Yeah,
this to
yeah.
almost any industry. You keep pushing and then you feel like you want to quit. Well, that's like that moment where it's like, if you quit, like probably tomorrow, like your opportunity was going to become knocking at the door. But because
That's
you
what
quit,
keeps the hunger. That's
oh, yeah.
exactly what keeps the hunger, bro.
And
I
people need,
started when I originally started rap. Like originally there was like we had like a Wu-Tang Clan. I was a dancer. Like I was killing it. I was on my Chris Brown. Like nobody could tell me. Remember when Stomp the Yard was a thing? Like that was me. You know what I'm saying? I was killing it, right?
that's
I
what's up.
never wanted to like essentially rap. I knew I always wanted to entertain. So when I got brought in, like when I got introduced to like, hey, you should be a part of this. Like you're already kind of like performing. Why not, try something else?
Yeah.
I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. I was terrible, as most of us are. You know what I'm saying? This is why I should just stick to dancing. Like that was my thing. But the more that I did it, people started to fade out, fade out, fade out. Came down to two of us. He was like the one where I was like, man, I don't even know how you remember. All right, so you remember Ron's House, right?
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
TV show.
Hmm.
So the dude that I was in a group with at the time, this is when MySpace was big too. he
You're.
um yeah, shout out to my I know, right, man, wasn't that a crazy time?
Yeah.
So he dissed Rev Run's son, like his group that he had on the show, like that rap group they had in the show.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
dissed them and actually got a response back, like
Oh.
another diss record. So his clout, this is before clout was a thing, he started shooting out. I watched this man's progression, and then I was like, "You're next." Like he was like a cliche thing to say, next Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Like he was
Yeah.
just that guy though. Like he was lyrical way before I was, and I don't know what happened, but as next thing you know, we graduated high school, and then like I didn't even hear he was rapping anymore. He made maybe like two more songs. Like he was really going somewhere. So it's like my question is like I feel like some of us have that hunger, but like if it's just if it's beating you inside, if you're just done with it, you're done with it. because even with all that success, all that movement he was doing early on in life, it was just like he was so discouraged that it wasn't happening as fast enough. And he just said, you know what? And just hung it up. And
Yeah.
here I am years later still going. And I'm like, bro, you like I'm like you brought me into this. Like who would have thought? You know how so you see how things happen. So like I'm still going, keeping that hunger alive because I feel like I have what it takes. But then some of us really just I don't know. It's like the fire just that's it. When you're done, you're done.
It's like
You
what we
know?
said. It's like what we said a couple pods ago, where when you expect things to happen so quickly, like
Mm,
you need that longevity because there are pieces that you have to fill in there. There's things that you have to learn before you can get to that next level to
mm-hmm.
really understand it. Like when you see things not happening, there's probably because there's something that you need to learn that is going to take you to that next level. But people are just like,
Exactly.
oh, it's not
Yeah.
happening. It's not happening. All right, I'm done. Whatever. Done with rap. But like, figure out what's not taking you to that next level. It's probably something that you need to figure out. You need to learn something that you're maybe not
Yes.
in, something that you're
Yeah.
not doing. So or
It's
something you
like
need
It
to
could be a
stop.
small thing. Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like as simple as, not having a logo or, not having like, a business card that could have taken you, could have gotten you like a record deal or,
Exactly.
could have gotten you like a fucking, a shoe endorsement or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have
That
to
one
work.
little thing.
Right. We gotta work through those kinks first. You know what I mean? We gotta like work past like the adversity that we're facing right now, or else
Mm,
we're never gonna learn from that, and we're never gonna really like know how to like when that next obstacle comes, we're not gonna know how to work around it because we never put forth the effort.
it's like
And
you're
we
gonna
were
go
also
back, you're gonna start it again, and you're gonna hope you pass it. If you don't, you're gonna have to relearn it again. You know,
exactly
so yeah,
right. And like we
yeah.
were talking about, one of the last pods we were on, before too, is that like as like musicians, as artists, like you also have to be, learn how to be a good entrepreneur,
Mm,
good journalist, good artist, graphic designer,
absolutely.
whatever, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're your own, like they always say, you're your own vessel. Like it's just you. And then
Yeah.
by the grace of, the most high, you'll get someone to, hey, I do videos. You know what I'm saying? You need videos that I can do. Boom, part of your team. Hey, I do graphic. So now it's like your workload is starting to just, fall off. And now you could just focus on what you initially started, which was music,
Yep.
creativity is, you know what I'm saying? So that's really the ideal thing is how they always say find a team.
Yeah.
It's just
That's so
it's
important.
it's so important. It's rare that you can get a
Here
core group to really like focus in on one goal. But
right.
once you do, you got something major.
Right. You got to have people around you that actually like, care about your craft and like what
Hmm.
you're going after. Because if we're all going for the same thing, like we all got to work together toward that. And if we
Mm,
don't, then it's going to fall here, it's going to fall there. And then eventually like you won't have anything. And like
absolutely.
what we're doing now, like we're doing the same things as, if we were signed to like a major label.
Yep.
We're independent, so the only difference is we get like 100% of the royalties, 100% of
True.
everything that we make that comes in.
That's true. That is true.
But
Right?
hey,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
It is.
work first, but yeah, you see what I'm getting at. Yeah,
No, it's a fact though. But see, the best part that I feel like in the position that we're in is like it only takes one. So when we get that one, everything else will become so much easier. Obviously, it's going to be a task as far as maintaining it, but I feel like once we get that one to just take off, everything else it's just gonna start flowing. The doors are open, like the floodgates are officially open. That's the best part about being independent and having something take off. You're getting all of that, and then labels start coming, and then they want to know, what's going on, and then you can say, you know what, I got this because I've been training my like self for this moment. It really depends on what you want in that moment.
yeah.
It
And it,
really does.
it comes to that point too, like where it's like, what, I have a label, but as long as you can, put my music on your scale, we're good.
Yes. That's when the distribution deal becomes into effect right there.
Partnership.
I'd be
Yep.
like, yes, like we could
Yeah.
collab. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's how it works, man. You set yourself up to be ready for the opportunity. So if those labels do come knocking, you can either say, "No, I'm ready to do this by myself,"
Mm,
or "I have the mindset to understand what it is that I need from you. So
absolutely.
let's sit down at the
Mhm.
table and let's work these things out." Because if you're smart enough, you'll get exactly what you want if you know what you're
Come
talking about.
on.
You
Right.
come to the table and you know, like you'll get what you want because they'll know.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's
Because
true, and that's where our advantage is right now too. We soaked up all this stuff to this point to know like we've watched a lot of sad stories about artists in the past get jerked around, and this went last even up until now. So now it's like okay, that happened. So now this is what I'm trying to do, and can you meet that or not? That's the best part about watching what happens before we get there is we have the experience now to see what went wrong. You know,
Exactly. Yeah. If it ever came down to it, like if there are some good labels out there that feed artists, and all that stuff.
absolutely.
So I mean, if a really good deal came around that made sense to me, I would take it. Um,
Absolutely.
but like going back again, learning how to be a good entrepreneur, like you have to know the music business
Mm,
to be able to make those kind of moves and make those decisions for yourself and all that.
yeah, no, it's true. And you got to be ready when it comes. You do.
Right.
You really
Exactly.
do. Which I mean, 9 times out of 10, they say you don't get it if you're not. So when it does, you probably are ready. You just got to make sure you know what I'm saying. So
Gonna have all your
that I
cards.
mean, those yeah, have your cards on the table for
Gotta
sure.
have
Have
your
them right.
lawyers preset. You know what I mean?
Yo, yeah,
Gotta have
yo.
your accountants on deck.
Yeah, just on call. Like, remember when I told you
Yeah.
I might blow up? Like, now is
Yep.
the time. Like,
Yeah.
this is that moment,
Right.
right?
it's time. It's time. Let's go.
But it's true though.
Yeah.
You gotta have those things ready because when that time comes, like it's gonna happen. And if you're just not diligent on what you're doing, you're
Mm.
gonna get taken for a sucker, and who
Yeah,
knows what.
and the younger these artists are, that's why I feel like I know what they say it's a young what do they say it's a young man's game per se in the rap world, but 9 times out of 10, those are the ones they're getting to sign these things because they're like, hey, but then
The
all right, so I'm
labels
gonna ask,
know. Yeah.
they know. That's why I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they,
ask you
they know
guys.
that
See,
that
so
that this 17-year-old kid doesn't know any better, so we
his
can fucking
parents
take
probably don't eat.
everything from him
Yes,
because he doesn't know
yes.
the business. He doesn't have anything right now. We can just give him the advance and
Come
then just
on.
capitalize off it without him even
And
knowing the business.
capitalize.
Yes,
And it's like you see it, and it's like you also feel for them as an artist because they're probably coming from nothing. So they're like, oh, this is I've never seen this much money before. You know what I'm saying? I probably should do this so I can take care of my family. So you get them on that end. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's like that contract could probably be the worst one. And in the
yeah.
long run, they're back, in their house, sleeping in the living room. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Still trying to get out of the contract for years and
still
years
trying to
and
get out of
years.
the contract.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
You
crazy.
still
It's
got two
so,
more
so
albums left. You still got two more albums. What's going on? And
yeah.
they're probably not even because you see it all the time. You see when people try not to put out albums and they boycott their labels and things. So it's all about catching the right one and just knowing your paperwork. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah.
It was just like it's just reminded me. I don't know if it's like maybe a similar thing, but it's like almost that waiting process. I forget the name because I don't really pay that much attention to it. So the song that Eminem and Kanye just did, right?
Okay.
Again, I apologize. I'm lacking the name of it. It was
I'm
off
trying to think. This is recent, like a recent one.
within the past couple of months, I would say.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So the song I think had been done for like a year, 2 years, maybe 2 plus years.
Wow. Okay.
Eminem was under a contract, and in that contract, he wasn't allowed because obviously this is like new Kanye gospel preaching.
Yeah.
Uh, in his contract, if I'm quoting this correctly, and please if I'm misquoting this, don't take my word for it. But again, this is just what I heard, and I mean I kind of find validity in it. In his contract, he couldn't say Jesus, so
Okay.
he had to, and in that verse, he says Jesus. So he had to wait until that contract expired. Kanye put up a rant about it too. He had put up a post and was saying like, "Oh, like we gotta wait for contracts to be done and blah blah blah
I
blah."
think I think I remember this now.
That's what he
I
was talking about. He had to
Oh, okay.
done so that he could put the song out, because if he put it out, then obviously M would be breaking contract
Mm,
for it. So he literally had to wait for that contract. Like, you are so binded by a contract that you
that's
can't even like
crazy.
say a word. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure there were other stipulations to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it just say you can't say Jesus. Sign here. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure he wasn't. You know.
Yo, you're literally like selling your soul
You
at
know.
that point. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
But I mean,
you
Eminem's a
are,
smart.
and
Sure, he probably fought tooth and nail to end that much sooner.
definitely,
You know. He's,
definitely.
but I
Yeah.
mean,
He's been in the game long enough to kind of dictate a little bit of something,
for
you
sure,
know.
he's
Oh,
doing
yo,
his thing.
he's still showing. In my opinion, he's like the best rapper of all time that I've ever heard.
I mean,
In
I
my
think, I think, I think, as a collective in hip hop, we've all accepted the fact that he is the great. Like,
yeah,
even if you really don't want to say it, just like pen and pad, like skill level, he's a
yeah.
different breed.
For
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm
sure.
definitely.
saying?
He's
Do I
still he's
listen to him? Do I listen to him on a regular in my car? Not necessarily, but the man is still a goat. I
That's
exactly.
mean,
what I said, and that's what I said about a lot of. So I came into hip hop super late, and for a lot of the legends, like, they just don't hit the same for me because I didn't grow up that
mm,
with them. But at the same time, I 1,000 respect what they did for hip hop and what. And so,
exactly.
like, to go with what you said, it's like, do I rock with them all the time? No, but I 1,000% understand what they did for hip hop. And yo, hats off to you, bro.
Uh
You
huh.
Come
did your
on. I
We're
feel
we're
like I
we're
feel like
influenced
go
by all
ahead.
of them.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
What you gonna say?
yeah, no, I was just gonna say like we're influenced by all of them.
somehow, some
We
way.
Yeah,
are. Like they're all
right.
in they're like
Yeah,
in the boiling pot. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta admit, Eminem might have single-handedly kept Dre's career after NWA, all that. He really did. Them two were like joint. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah.
So like he pretty much raised Dre up to a whole different another level. You know, and then he found then M50. You know, and then so they contributed a lot. He definitely did. He really did.
And those are like million, like probably $1 billion investments if you think about it. You know, you have Dre, and then M did his thing, and then M brought it back to Dre. Then Dre and M took 50, and then 50 took Dre and M,
Yeah.
and now 50's doing movies and TV shows and all this other stuff based off
Who
of
would have thought?
Yep.
what he built with music. He's doing halftime shows at Super Bowls now, and it's like, look what you were able to build off of that.
Mm,
One man was able to help build, and again, I know it was like
come
within the
on.
as a total. I don't want to say like M carried them on his shoulders because
Yeah.
thing, but just to see what one individual kind of had an influence in, and I love what he
He had a
said
new spark. It was like a new spark
for
for
sure.
you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. It was like a new spark,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
a
I
fresh
love
one.
Yeah, and I love what he said at his speech, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is a very rare thing to do for a hip hop artist. He's like, yo, he's like, I'm like one of the very minimum hip hop artists that have been inducted into this. He's like,
Mm,
I just listed off like 50 names of people that should probably be in here with me. Y'all need to check
mm.
out that. So it's like, he's not only like
A humble.
a super dope dude, humble dude, but like he's
Mm,
advocating for people that made him who he is. Like, if these people made me who I am, like, they should
mm.
be in here because I'm just as dope as they are. Obviously, a little bit better, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
they all
It's the
created
principle.
this, So it's like, if
Yeah.
they created this, like, they should be in there too.
And guess what?
Absolutely.
They all did the groundwork.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They
But
all were
this is
in
the
our
thing.
position right now, and that's why
This
it's
is
so
the
important to
thing.
work together because everybody is brought up
everybody.
just like
And
that.
that is the come on. And they had it in the worst time.
Yeah,
It's mind blowing to me. This is kind of what I could
Yeah.
see why most artists get frustrated now because it's more mind blowing to me that they did it in the hardest time to blow up. We have the easiest time to blow up. So when it's not happening as fast, it's like, oh man, nobody cares. Da, da, da. So I get people's frustration because you go on TikTok, you don't even have to have a full song now. You don't even really have to do anything. And boom, next thing you know, you're in a mansion, you got your mama house. You got, back when they was doing it, you had to have a solid album. The whole album had to be good. Your stage presence had to be good. Couldn't rap over the vocals. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It
The
was
lyrics had to
crazy.
be
So
there 1,000% of the time. If there's
the
one
lyrics
bad lyric,
had to
you have
be
to do
there.
the whole song again, pretty much.
Oh man, they had people were buying albums for just one song too. You do remember that time? People were just buying a full album for one song, and then you find out the whole album's dope. Sometimes not. Sometimes the album's that one song's good, but it was a dope time to like blow up. And now it's like I feel like they've made it extremely easy, so everyone wants things so fast. So when it's not happening, they're more discouraged.
Because they're skipping steps. They're not doing it right. Like you have such an easier access to people, but a lot of people aren't doing it right. And then when they do see that instant success, like they see Joe Schmo, who's on TikTok and super TikTok famous, not knowing that they probably grinded forever to get there. And there are those lucky few, whatever, but you
Those are
don't
the
know.
rare ones. Yep, the rare ones. Yep.
You don't know what goes on behind the scenes for them to get to that point. So they're like, oh, they're just posting every single day and I'm posting every single day. Why aren't I seeing anything? But like you don't understand the everything that's behind it to get there. So
Behind
then
the scenes.
Yeah.
It's not working. All right, whatever.
And like we're in that age, so like sometimes even we forget that, you know what I mean? But like we the reason why like I go back, in time, to listen to Jay-Z and, even before that, Big L, Tupac, Biggie
You're a
is
Big
just
L fan?
to
My
remind
man.
myself to remind myself, where like hip hop came from and like why I do this in the first place, and you know what I mean, and just like
No, absolutely.
take the heart that they put into their own craft into mine and all that stuff, and just remind me
Yeah,
like
because I honestly feel like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, like I feel like you can never forget the roots. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Once we
exactly.
start forgetting the roots and we start, no disrespect, but once we start talking more about like the who's the babies and the, you know what I'm saying? Like it's cool, but like let's never forget they are an extension of the
Mhm.
Nas's, of the J's, of, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
and like
They're just dope. They're their own, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I hope like years from now we don't do is like I feel like Pac will never, like Pac's always gonna be a thing. Clearly, like look how long it's been. Biggie's always gonna be a thing. I want that to be for everyone though. Jay, I want him to always be a thing, even when he's gone. You know what I'm saying? So if we forget the roots though, it's just that would be wild to me. And that's
right,
just society. Not saying we would, it's just society.
right. And like this new digital era makes it that much harder because now attention spans are like less than 5 seconds. So it makes it harder for for people to like digest the music the way we did
It's so
when we were
fast.
listening to
Every
podcasts and
5 seconds. Yeah, it's like new songs coming out, new artists. Boom, who's this guy? Oh, we signed to him. Oh, it's so much music
yeah,
that like you do. It's like you have to hone in on your usuals that you listen to, and then you pick a couple of new ones that you really rock with. But
mhm,
it's like every day, I'm like, oh, who's this guy? That song's, but their sound is kind of similar. So you're
yeah,
thinking it's so and so, but it's actually, so it's the sound
yeah,
too a little bit,
right. And that's cool too.
Yeah.
If I've come across a new artist, like I really like want to know who that person is. Okay, like I'll hear a song on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to that person. I'm like, all right, he got this album. All right, I'm gonna check this album out. All right, cool, yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna check this album out. This is
Yeah.
phenomenal. I'm gonna you just keep doing that.
You got so much to choose from now. And
Yeah.
then we got what is it? Oh, what is it? I want to say it wrong. Afro beats. Like that whole genre of music, bro. Like give it time. I'm not gonna put too much
It's
out there, but I'm already thinking down the line. There's a couple records that I'm just like, I gotta get on this wave because it is a vibe. Afro beats is a vibe.
it's
There's so
popping.
many artists that I find like on a regular basis. That show I'm like UK artists too. Like people kind of once you get past the language, like the accent, they really be spitting.
Oh
It
yeah.
is dope to see how people are like all over, just like coming with these creative moments, and the songs are just so good. And it's like I want to meet him. I don't know what he's saying, but we can make some music together.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I've definitely
you
connected
know.
with people from you. I've definitely connected with a couple people from the UK and done some songs, and it's like different. I've even had people even though I don't understand it, they've done like German on it, and like,
Mm.
dude, like the way that they just deliver it, you're just like, yo,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I
yo,
don't know what you
it's
say
so hard.
now.
Shit, I'm gonna start spitting in Lithuanian. Come on now.
Yeah, you're like, and you know what's funny? I think, and I could be wrong, but I feel like the artist must be good if, because they could be saying a lot of nonsense, but I feel like
Yeah.
off energy base, I feel like even though you don't know what they're saying, you know they're talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because someone could be spitting another language and still be trash, and you're like, you don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? So you know when an artist is really good, you don't know what they're saying, but the vibe and the energy of the music is just like he's probably the Jay-Z over there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the guy's nice.
We don't I mean, obviously, like every genre of music has its categories, but like we're getting to a point where like it's gonna become genreless. Of course, like for me,
Mm,
I
yeah,
sing as well, not only rap. Like I'll always have that hip hop element in there because I'm a hip hop artist.
nice.
But like I'll also do like R&B, pop. I want to do rock. I want to get into R&B. I'll even do country, not like full
Yeah,
on like
okay, okay,
twangy thing,
okay.
but like I'll do like country hip hop. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
want to
absolutely. That's
do
a
a
thing
little bit of
now. Country hip hop. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
I just did a contest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chevy was doing a contest to open up. I think it was the Country Music Awards to perform there. So they were just taking people, and I was like, I mean, I don't know if they're looking for hip hop people, but I'm gonna give it a shot and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And you never know. Like we trying to blend cultures.
True.
It ends
Man,
up
so
being dope too. Like
yeah,
somebody will be playing guitar like totally like outside of hip hop or whatever. You know what I mean? I'll start rapping to it, and then like the guitar player will be like, "All right, cool," and then
It's the
it's a
vibe.
really cool vibe. Yeah,
it's cool to see.
Yeah.
yeah, like it's
But
something
see, I'm glad.
completely different that
Uh-huh.
works. That's when
No, I'm glad you said you
that's
sing
when you
because
make
to piggyback off that, you need to keep doing that, sir. Because I honestly feel like R&B, I like what they're doing with the melodies and whatnot, intertwining it with rap. That's cool. But
yeah
R&B still needs to be there. Like,
yeah
I'm talking about that soulful R&B where you actually like, you know what? I
the
was
like
really
voice
mad at
men
her.
type shit.
I'm about
Yeah,
to call her back real quick because I'm bugging out. You know, like you gotta keep that alive because I feel like R&B is trying to fade, but you have to really look for it now. Before it was kind of like right there with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But now it's more pop. You're not really
mhm,
getting that. Like no one really wants to feel anymore. I feel like
yeah,
Bro, which is
you
why
know.
I'm telling you, I don't know if you've done it yet. You need to do like nights like these, like live, dude.
yeah.
I'm telling you, you're going to crush it. If you haven't heard it
I'll
yet,
do it.
listen to Nights Like These by this guy. I'll share it with you
It's
if
like that. Oh, come on. See, he's already
you
getting. Come
Yeah,
on.
I'm telling you right now, this is like a lighter in the air, like bring down. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to gas you up.
yeah.
Like it's one of those kind of songs, like when you just like chilling and you at a concert and then you hit that part where you go into that last hook, bro. I'm telling you, it's like lights in the air, waving them back and forth, like let's go. Like we are
Yeah.
here,
That's what
vibing,
I'm talking
bro.
about.
Oh yeah,
I'm telling
I have a few songs like that too.
you do.
Yeah,
I'm telling the
but
edge,
like that one
like
specifically.
the edge, dude. The edge and nights like these, dude. telling you, I'm telling you right now.
You know
Like
what? I can
needs
make
to
that
See,
go,
happen.
needs to go live.
see,
I know it's like a
Yeah.
slower vibe, but I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if people don't like it, they're you don't know
they're
music.
crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
That's when you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They're crazy. Sorry.
No, he sounds like you sound like me. You sound
Right.
like me with my bro. Like I'm also one half of kind of like a hip hop R&B duo. So
Mhm.
I got my boy Shy Real with me. We've been doing music for like what 4 or 5 years now together.
Okay.
Come up with like mash mixtapes where it's like half rap, half R&B, and we remix what's hot right now. So
Okay.
like, but he's so into the 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 subject matter of today when I'm like, bro, you got a voice. I know you could go in on these drill beats. You're doing your thing on it. But if you do one of these old Boys to Men or 112s, you will be out of here.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
telling
definitely.
you, you
If you
got to
take,
get back to that vibe.
if you take that, and bring that, like you said, that R&B feel into it, like it's over. trap on like doing that over a trap beat or like
Yes.
anything else
Yes.
hard as fuck and still like doing that kind of shit. Yeah,
Because dude, I'm
Come
telling you,
on, right?
if
And
you if you
can't
you see where
lose.
the industry's going now. The industry's
Yeah,
kind of blending the samples. You hear the samples now. You get the drill, but then you'll have like a Temptations type sample, and they're blending the two, and it's like, okay, you're keeping it alive that way, but
yeah,
where's that soul left?
right.
Like, oh man.
because if you look at shows, right, like most of it is just straight hip hop, your drill, your trap kind of stuff. There's only like a few people. Hill Rye is one of them. Nim
Hmm.
K is another one. There's not many people that are really rocking like the R&B kind of soulful stuff. So when you show up to a show and you just have that variety, like you're gonna be one of the few people that are doing it. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man,
So
hands
it
down.
helps you like kind of like separate yourself, and let people know because I'll address you right now. Like at shows, like you only do like the hip hop stuff, and it's dope by the way. I'm not trying to knock that by any means.
Yeah,
Like your stage presence and everything is skyrocketed. But like doing those R&B stuff like would completely separate and let people know because like we have these conversations like, oh, I do hip hop and I do R&B, but like when you go to a show, like you only hear the hip hop side.
See,
You
I
know,
would have never known.
minus a couple songs on the hooks
yeah,
with the hooks, but like to hear a whole song and be like, no, like I'm for real, bro. Like I do this. Like I could put a whole song together, let alone a hook. Which again, not to toot your own horn,
yeah.
like crush hooks all
It's like you got that.
do it up. But it's the truth though. Like you have the hooks, but it's like now you can show people like and like own it. Like yeah, I do hip hop, but like I do R&B too. Here it
Mm.
is, and like check this out. I'm telling you, bro. The Edge and nights like these, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Cool.
He's serious
I will
too.
make
You
this
know he's
happen. I'm
serious.
going to make this happen.
I'm telling you. That's all I gotta say.
Cool.
I'm gonna shut
All
up.
right.
He's like, you got that now, right?
I'm gonna shut up now.
I'm gonna go work on that now. We'll see y'all later.
Yeah, that's the energy right there. Yo, he gassed it up that much when you gotta go do
Woo!
it. So, yeah, he definitely did. Man, but no, that's dope to hear that you're still you gotta keep that alive, man. Because I feel like like R&B essentially like how you said you do both. I wanted to do that before. That's why I used to dance because I wanted to just add the singing, but I never had. I guess I can't say I never had. Maybe I never took the initiative to learn to sing. Rapping just kind of like became more of a natural thing. But like I've always wanted to sing essentially because if I added the dance with it, I was like, oh, I'm going on tour. I'm gonna have my shirt off. You know what I'm saying? Like I had the whole vision. Like Usher was my guy. Like I was a big R&B head. So
Yeah.
like I had to find a way to not only do these hype records, especially in the beginning, but I was like, okay, if I can't sing, I'm gonna touch somebody deeply with poetry. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't always have to go too hard. I can bring it back a little bit and really dig deep on what I go through on a day-to-day, whether it be mental health or you know what I'm saying? So it's like the variety of music, I had to find that because I was already frustrated that I couldn't sing. So I was like, I'm doing something to make somebody cry, all right? I'm doing something to make somebody cry. So yeah.
For sure. Absolutely, man. That's dope, man. I love this stuff, man. I love this stuff. I
That's
love
what
it.
it's about, man.
Well, Splytt, man, I really appreciate you coming on the pod, man. This has been super dope. It's been such an amazing experience. Glad you were able to come on and
Sure,
share
man.
a lot of your stuff, man. This has been awesome. Before we wrap up, where can people kind of connect with you? Your Instagram, wherever. Where's the best place people can kind of connect with you, link up with you? What's going on?
I got all right. So if you want to, I'm very active on IG. That's at ITSSPLYTT. That's it split. Y with two T's. If you want me on YouTube, Full Family. That's my brand. 401 Family. We do it for the family. Level up or get left behind. You know that's the slogan. So it's
You're
that's on YouTube. It's either Splytt or Full Family. FHO Family. Not really a Twitter guy. You know what I'm saying? Everyone tells me I should get on it, but I tell people I'm like, it's not for everybody. You know, I tried it, didn't really, I go on there maybe to look at other people's stuff, but I don't really do anything on it. you know. But mainly IG and YouTube, I'm trying to get very active on. TikTok also, I be on my comedy skits.
Word.
ITS SPLYTT. You know, like I said, I try to entertain. That was my main thing in the beginning, was to be an entertainer. So as soon as TikTok came out, I'll actually tell you a little small story. I was doing TikToks on Triller before I knew what TikTok was. And one of my fans that I met at a show, told me you would be really good on TikTok. I went viral on my second video.
Dope.
Nice.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Kid you not. And I was making them the hard way on Triller, chopping them up, putting them in my editing thing, you know, bouncing the export it, uploading it. And then I ended up switching, and yeah, things were smooth. But yes, ITS SPLYTT, it's Splytt. Whole family on YouTube. It's been a pleasure, guys.
Hell yeah, man. Yo, I'm gonna check your shit out.
Please, I just dropped the mixtape recently with the Bro Shy Rail. I told you half R&B, half rap. It's on my Instagram and my bio. It goes straight to your phone. It's on Dropbox. You can just download it straight to your phone, whether you got an Android, iPhone. Try to make it easy, you know, for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of remixes from PNB Rock, Meek Mill, you name it, Drake. Like, it's a little bit of everything on there. We bodied it. It's crazy. I hope you like it.
Hell yeah. All right, cool.
Absolutely. Well, Splytt, I want to thank you one more time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking this out. Appreciate everybody. Again, God bless everybody for checking this out, supporting the podcast. But until next time, my name is Jay Faith.
My name is L.Y.F.E.
And this is Splytt. And
I go by Splytt.
This is the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast. We'll catch y'all next time. What's up?